The Back to the Future films are known for being imaginative and genre-defining. They're clever in how they explore time travel, character relationships, and adventure. Everyone talks about their crazy chase scenes, the hilarious characters, and their groundbreaking visual effects. But what's never discussed is the incredibly dark elements that are included, specifically regarding sexual harassment and the objectification of women. Real quick, I make content on all different types of movies. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2 primarily examine sexual harassment through the use of Lorraine, Marty's mother and the most lead female character in the trilogy. In our first sight of Lorraine as a teenager, we immediately see her lusted after by George McFly, who's climbed up into a tree and watches her undress through her bedroom window. Of course, this is highly inappropriate and wrong, and Marty makes a disgusted comment about that.
He's a peeping Tom.
If you think that behavior is gross, it gets way, way worse. In the school's canteen, Marty tries to convince George to ask Lorraine to the dance.
She told me to tell you that she wants you to ask her to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Really?
Oh, yeah. All you gotta do is go over there and ask her.
George states that he doesn't think he could handle a public rejection. But then, he says something very telling of his reprehensible perspective.
Besides, I think she'd rather go with somebody else.
George takes one look at Biff and Lorraine's interaction and jumps to that self-pitying conclusion. Lorraine is so evidently getting harassed by Biff.
You know you want it. You know you want me to give it to you.
Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not that kind of girl.
Who's non-consensually touching her, grabbing her, and saying appalling things to her. Lorraine's discomfort is written all over her face. She fights to get away from him. She tells him to leave her alone.
Get your meat hooks off of me.
And George still thinks she would want to go to the dance with him. It's great that Marty was there to step in, because every person in that cafeteria was either just watching the horrifying occurrence or snickering at it. What I find interesting and highly disappointing is what George's comment tells us about how men may perceive interactions and relationships. Often men, obviously not all men, I find it silly to have to clarify that, but I must, have a tendency to view women as objects of possession. As soon as they're even visually connected to another man, men will see the woman as being his. George is an example of some of the worst of this. He's stuck in the mindset of insecurity and sees Biff as the alpha male.
I wish I wasn't so scared.
So he doesn't even think or care to notice if Lorraine is actually happy. As far as George is concerned, Lorraine was claimed by Biff, so he can't be with her, and that's all that matters. Later, in the first Back to the Future movie, Biff forces himself into the car with Lorraine, who struggles to get away from him. I can't even begin to explain how disgusting Biff is, as he goes on to essentially assault her. The Back to the Future trilogy has always been one of my favorite series and holds a special place in my heart. I admire the writing, the cinematography, the visual effects, and everything it did for filmmaking, but I feel it would be dishonest not to briefly talk about the aspects of the films I wish were slightly different. George goes on to stop the situation between Biff and Lorraine, but the scene really highlights how the assault is just used as a plot device to develop George's character arc, transforming him from being meek and insecure into being courageous. I understand in the context of the story, George needed a moment of heroism to win Lorraine's attention, but I do often wish women weren't always framed as helpless victims of assault in film and television. The subject matter should definitely be discussed, and it's good to teach people to stand up for others, but Lorraine's character is primarily defined by her relationships with men, and she has difficulty standing on her own 2 feet. This discourse is continued in Back to the Future Part 2. After a 2015 version of Biff travels back in time to give his younger self an almanac listing the results of major sporting events for the next several decades, an alternate reality is created in which Biff is married to Lorraine.
Oh my God, it's your father.
My father.
You're supposed to be in Switzerland, you little son of a bitch!
And lo and behold, Lorraine is not treated well there either. Lorraine's been pressured by Biff into getting cosmetic surgery on her breasts.
Who's gonna pay for your cosmetic surgery, Lorraine?
You were the one who wanted me to get these things.
She's a victim of domestic violence, and she's trapped in their marriage due to the financial power Biff holds over her.
You walk out that door, and I won't only cut off you, I'll cut off your kids. You wouldn't. Oh, wouldn't I?
Though the Back to the Future films are sci-fi comedies and are very extravagant in their action-adventure sequences, they show how real women are treated every day. They don't dive too deeply into the implications of sexual harassment, misogyny, or domestic violence, but they definitely demonstrate how women have been objectified and abused throughout the ages.
Biff, you win. I'll stay.
And though awareness over women's rights have improved over the last several decades, Marty and Doc could time travel into the 2020s and there would still be progress to be made. What do you think?